Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and people. Welcome to an encore episode of MNW in a Nutshell. I'm taking over again this week because I got a phone call from Firing Line. Their production team was taking annual leave to celebrate the Valentine's Day weekend. So here we are with episode 19 of MNW in a Nutshell. Episode 10 of Flashbang in a Nutshell for the show dated Friday, the 11th of February, 2022, Pacific Standard Time. Your host of MNW in a Nutshell, MNW's resident statistician and bookkeeper, Karla Bader from Melbourne, Australia. So first of all, we have an audio promo from the Crimson Phoenix, who is a vital member of the faction Apex. And in the promo, I've got the actual transcript here from the Phoenix, which he said, "At last, did you think something was amiss? Well, you plebeians were busy oohing and ahhing over the C101 contestants. Apex has been preparing for war. I, the Crimson Phoenix, hereby declare an open challenge to any mongrel in Flashbang willing to fight me mano a mano. The sun is rising in Apex's favour once again. Who among your lot will brave the very fires of hell and meet your fate at my talons? I'll be waiting." So yes, what Crimson Phoenix had mentioned is that everybody seemed to be inundated with the C101, which was taking place for the last 9 or 10 weeks over both Warzone Block A and Flashbang Block B. As we continue in this recap, you might hear some hints of what happened at the C101, as well as the end where I will recap the C101 leaderboard for you. So, without further ado, let's move on to our next event. Our first in-ring promo by our current heavyweight champion, Victor Vicious of the Cartel, responded by Spike of the Bone Warriors, who shared a tag team title with his partner, Burden. But to the in-ring promo here, Victor states that the audience seems to forget the following: that winning the C101 is an opportunity to face him, the World Heavyweight Champion. And just as a recap, Victor Vicious was in the C101, Block B. Victor may have lost his opportunity to face Zako Dua, but Victor is still the World Champion. This will not change whether he wins or loses, and it will not change once he has finished dealing with Mizuki Napier of Apex. And then he will move on to Spike and wipe the slate clean. And then Spike comes out in response to this and says that what he's going to do to both Victor and Mizuki. Victor says Spike will have to wait his turn, that he can't just rush into things. Victor reminds Spike that he runs Flashbang, that being Victor runs Flashbang, the mob boss, and questions if Spike is insinuating Mizuki can beat Victor. Spike doesn't care who wins, they will lose to Spike next when they face him. Victor tells Spike he isn't worried about Mizuki Napier. Spike says that he should be. Mizuki is as fierce as they come. And behind every man is a fiercer woman running the program behind the scenes. He says, who was the one actually pulling the strings of Apex? It wasn't Nero. So who was it? Victor says that Burden, Spike's tag team partner, will not be around to help him when the time comes. But then Victor couldn't be more wrong. Spike says that Burden is around and has been watching. A match is announced for later in the night, a tag team of Apex versus the Cartel, just to kind of mitigate the risk of interference when the actual title match does happen at tomorrow's Culmination show. So now we come to our first match of the evening, which is an 8-man showcase match. And with the C101 going on, we haven't had these match for ages. These kinds of matches, that is. So just recapping the rules of this kind of match, there are 8 competitors in the ring, 7 submission or pinfall eliminations to get a winner. And falls count anywhere, so you can be pinned in or out of the ring. So we have our Orky merchant, Zach DeWeaver, coming in 6th place. Oh wait, that's right, I'm supposed to read from last to first. So, the aristocratic Kaynid, a 3-time showcase winner already. He came in 8th place. And then we have our mercenary, Jack the Questionable, also known as Jackie Q, who was, I think, working with Kevin Blackwell for a while. He's come in 7th place. And then, as I said, our merchant Zach DeWeaver coming in 6th place. We have partner to Suicide Gemini of Hell's Kitchen, the chef of Flashbang, who we haven't seen in a while, Samuel Manatee, coming in 5th place. And then we have the Cleaver of the Abyssal Void, now just a tag team and not really part of the Empire of Terror anymore. That is a dissolved faction. The Cleaver has come in 4th place. We have Alexis Edmonton of the Independent Mercenaries, who was also teamed up with Electro Reality for that Trios tournament. Alexis Edmonton has come in 3rd place to this showcase match. And in the 2nd place, we have Labras Basilicus, one of the 2 Minotaur brothers in Apex. And coming in 1st place, our cat hero, Shere Khan, who already has his first showcase win. He participated in the Warzone Multivania segment. Yes, Shere Khan featured in a Warzone showcase match. He won it. So this is his 2nd showcase win with a pinfall. And then we have another in-ring promo by the Sandman, one half of the Time Bandits, as well as a member of newly formed faction, more recently new since the last time we did Nutshell, House of Caliban, part of the House of Caliban. So in Sandman's promo, after 9 weeks of the C101, have people forgotten who Sandman is? He is one part of the oldest tag teams, the Time Bandits, who are now also the House of Caliban, a part of that. Victor should be thanking fate for getting rid of Erking and making the cartel relevant, not talking trash. Remember that the Time Bandits are also the #1 contenders for the tag belts currently held by Mad World. Be it next week or the week after, Kuso Kale and the Madness are running out of time. The Time Bandits are going to prove to Mad World that they are better than them. It's been 3 long years and the Time Bandits still don't have a title around their waist. For all the dirty work they have done over this time, they should at least have something. After the Bone Warriors, and then Mad World, and Dungeons and Destiny, it is the Time Bandits' time to hold those tag team championships. And then we have an audio promo by C101 participant Jack Andrews, and he had this to say. There is a tale in the history of Welsh culture, of a giant spectral hound that stalks the valleys of the lands. This black wolf, this omen, this symbol, the Gwylgi, means you are faced with ill tidings, or worse, should anyone be unfortunate enough to cross its path, it will not rip, it will not tear, it is simply the messenger. The C101 has taken its toll on myself and others who have fought tooth and nail, but in the end, we are faced with a tale that is old as time. Ginger boy, my respect for you is no secret. You have sat atop the mountain once before and look to do so again, and in any other situation you might have just had a straight path to your goal, but sadly for you, it is not meant to be. At the culmination, I will bring the darkest part of myself. I will be bringing something you've never seen from me before, and when you gaze into my eyes, you will see nothing but the very darkness of the soul staring back at you. Gingy, my friend, even kings sometimes bend the knee. And how did we get to this promo? I forgot to mention that Jack Andrews is actually the winner of the C101 in Block B. And in the culmination show, he will be facing Ginger Boy, who is the winner of Block A of the C101. So this is how those words came about. And then next up, we have our second match, which is a tag team match. Here we have a bit of a fusion in one of the teams. The Forces of Nature and Naja become the Beasts of Nature with their members Big Rock, Huge Mane and Naja. And they go up against Spectre Sonata, an already well-formed tag team of ghosts. We have the Punk Master Ghost, the Bad CG Ghost, and TK. And in this match, we had a bit of an upset here with Big Rock pinning TK. And this was a tornado tag team match, I must mention. So that means that all members are in the ring at the same time and they can go for whoever they like. And then we had a singles match. Lord V, the other half of the Abyssal Void, And then we have Helix Sucks, who back in Warzone was a part of Death Juice, as well as the world champion for Warzone back when it was just called MNW. And now on Flashbang, we have Lord V against Helix Sucks. Helix Sucks winning by tapping out Lord V. And then we have our 5th audio promo. That should be audio promo number 3 and P5 there, by the Grim Reaper, who used to be a part of the Empire of Terror, but now seems to be going off in his own direction. So with the C101 over, he is simply reminding Brawl Kaiser of the challenge that the Grim Reaper has set for him, that the time is now, and he shall rest in peace. And then we have our 4th match of the evening, which is a 2-on-2 tag team match. This is for the Time Bandits to show what they've got, both Sandman and Thunderbolt. And they are going against the Princedom, Sir Reginald and Sir Percival. Back to the showcase match, I forgot to mention that the aristocratic K-Nid is also now a part of the Princedom. It has been a while since I've done these nutshell recaps, so I am just getting my head back into it. But back to this match, we have Thunderbolt winning the match by pinning Sir Reginald, the one in the white. So then we have our 4th audio promo, back to the right order here, done by participant of the C101 Semjax. This promo was supposed to be broadcasted last week, but I think there was something to do with the production truck, so it got played this week instead. And in Semjax's promo, with Semjax's time in the C101 coming to an end, he realises his last opponent is an undead like himself, Graven. Semjax has read Graven's story of him facing an empire and besting its Dark Lord. However, Semjax is done with Graven. He'll leave Graven buried next to his name as Semjax leaves the silly promotion of Flashbang as the victorious one. And Taylor Temple, who is Semjax's lawyer, friend, too many characters to remember, he approaches Semjax and suggests he has the answer as to who is distracting Semjax in the past 8 C101 matches. And Taylor's answer of Burden was wrong though. It was not Burden. So Semjax tells Taylor to go back to the drawing board. And since the promo was this week, I can actually tell you the result of that C101 match, which happened last week. Neither Semjax nor Graven beat each other. They drew the match, each with 1 point. So now we have a singles match. It is a women's match here, an Extreme Rules, no holds barred match, so any weapons can be used, anything goes. And we have the Slamphibian facing off against the Fae Queen, Kathgina, and here Kathgina has the win with a pinfall over the Slamphibian. I forgot to mention before, that the Slamphibian is a faction member of AAA. And now we go on to our 6th match here. It is the Warzone winner and the Flashbang winner of the C101 had to pick a representative to face each other in the Flashbang ring. Here's me theorising that Jack Andrews could have just, faced an opponent of Gingy's choosing, but I guess to make it fair, they were both on ringside and both, picked their own opponents. So in this case, Ginger Boy's picked opponent was the Son of Thunder, Johan Mjorn, who is also a part of the Troll Train with Tiki the Troll and Taigiri. And then Jack Andrews managed to pick quite an interesting one, Scott E. Stevens. He hasn't been around for a while. Where has he been? During the show, Rabbit was actually quite happy to have him back and was really going on about his talents and strengths. I thought you'd be quite upset because Scott E. Stevens was the one that ended Rabbit's career as a GM. But I guess if you're good about it, time heals all and you move on. And back to this match, it looks like Scott E. Stevens is nice and fresh, no worries about the ring rust. He won against Johan Mjoln with a pinfall. So here we have a vicarious victory of Jack Andrews on Ginger Boy. And I guess we will see whether this is the same case in reality at the Culmination match on the following day. So then we have our last match of the evening, which is the Apex versus Cartel tag team match that was mentioned back in Victor and Spike's promo. And for Apex, we have two of the oldest members here, Blight Howless and Zephyr Tail. And they are accompanied by the number one contender, Mizuki Napier. And then with the Cartel, their original and only members for now, Nitsi Gunk Gobbler and Hutch Kale the Mandalorian. And they are accompanied by the World Heavyweight Champ and their leader, Mob Boss, Victor Vicious. In this match, Apex won against Cartel with Zephyr Tail pinning Hutch Kale. Hey, that rhymes! So now that is over, we are going to have a recap of the C101 leaderboard. And here is the Block B leaderboard. In first place, we have Jack Andrews with 12 points. In equal second, we have World Heavyweight Champion Victor Vicious and Undead Zombie Graven, each with 11 points. In an equal third place, we have Sam Jax, Mr. Money in the Bank from Warzone. The Sentai Hero, Interdimensional Champion Brawl Kaiser. Hey, I didn't press that. Okay, there we go. So, Sam Jax, Brawl Kaiser, a third of Doom, Zericus, as well as half of Hell's Kitchen, Suicide Gemini, and they all have 10 points. In fourth place, you have one half of the Mad World, Kuso Kale, with 8 points. In fifth place, Warzone's Devon and one half of Shoot Nation Tag Team Champion, Devon, 5 points. And in sixth place, another third of Doom, the Trios Champions, Michael Macabre, with 3 points. So, being in first place, Jack Andrews is the one to participate in the Culmination match for Block B. And may I remind you that whoever wins that Culmination match can challenge either the Flashbang champion or the Warzone champion, that is the world champion, whichever one they want to try and get the title of. So now we go to our show statistics. The final show length is 2 hours, 16 minutes and 50 seconds. And then we have our segment summary. We had 7 matches, 6 promos, no backstage encounters. Well, I heard that there was a security attack in backstage, but since they didn't necessarily show it on the camera, I thought it doesn't count. I thought we have to see it to believe it, so I thought, So that brings us to a total of 13 events. And if you subtract the 4 audio promos, that is a final total of 9 broadcasted events from the production truck for that episode of Flashbang. If you wish to catch more episodes on Flashbang, you can do so every Friday evening in the United States time zone there, Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on twitch.tv/Edward Bosco. And while we're at it, every other week there is a Firing Line recap. You can catch this on twitch.tv/Joe_Mojo every Thursday. I think also 5 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. PST. We'll have to get a confirmation on that, but it's around then. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and people. Welcome to episode 20 of MNW in a Nutshell, which is for episode 10 of Warzone in a Nutshell. This is for the show dated Saturday, the 12th of February, 2022, Pacific Standard Time. And this is a super show. This is the C101 Culmination, the result of hard work since a 9-week C101 tournament, both on Warzone and Flashbang. Without further ado, your host, MNW's resident statistician and bookkeeper, Karla Bader from Melbourne, Australia. And now we go into our sequence of events. First of all, we go right into our showcase match with Just Like Sisters Show Flashbang. They haven't had it during the weeks of the C101, so this is a nice refresher as to how showcase matches work. They are eliminations, false count anywhere, 7 pinfalls or submissions to get a winner, and pinfalls can take place in or out of the ring. Coming in 8th place, we have our Shark Man. Yes, 8 and 0, sharks do exist. Carcaradon. And then in 7th place, we have fellow Omega Club member, the only one not participating in the later bar crawl brawl, Gunnar Birch. And then in 6th place, we have the Terror Angel Fear Strikes. In 5th place, we have our HR representative, Registered Anon. In 4th place, we have owner of the weapons shop, Sergeant Major Payne. In 3rd place, we have a third of Old Faction Lucha on the Rocks, Glycerius. And in 2nd place, we have our good Latino B, who also faced Raphael Sampson for a title shot, but did not succeed, Buck Bumble. And our winner, the Goliath from Conquest Bloodline, being Gorm. This is his first showcase win, and he won this with a pinfall. Next up, we have an audio promo from Max T. Thighs, responded by Ozia Tehran of VIP. Currently, they are both members of VIP, but then Max isn't. This is a little confusing, but by reading the story, we shall find out what actually happened. So, Max says, here at the Culmination, it's time to call it quits. This time, the bad guys VIP win. Max's profession is done and he is tapping out and hanging up. He is now retired from his medical profession. It is too dangerous for him to be around hospitals and sick kids. Max is cutting ties from anything that VIP can use against him, and instead he is putting it all into his fists and using them against anybody who has wronged him, being VIP in this case. VIP had better watch out for the great behemoth, Maximilian Thunder Thighs. And then we have a response from the leader of VIP, the VI Pharaoh, Ozia Tehran. Ozia says, what's this about Max not being able to do it on his own and getting help from Big Brother, which is Anon of HR? We don't see Ozia rattling people out to the cops. He likes to handle things personally. Max all of a sudden has a backbone when he could have taken the chance to live the high life that Ozia had given him. Max is throwing that opportunity away, and for that, he is a suicidal idiot. Ozia has to deal with the person that caused this incident and all the potential profit he is going to be losing from this. The brass had better get ready because Ozia is coming to collect. And then we have our bar crawl brawl, which is like the final confrontation between the two bars, the Omega Pub and the Burning Lounge. 3 members of Omega Club being Alpha Kong, Whitney Lee, and Mega Blitz X against 3 representatives of Chained Hell, Hightower, Flame Revenant, and Constantinople. In this match, the Omega Pub comes out on top, with Alpha Kong pinning Hightower in this Extreme Rules, no holds barred tornado tag team match. So as you can see there, ladders, chairs, anything goes, just get it done, folks. And then we go to an audio promo again. We have Theron Eldrazi, one half of the Outlaws, responded by the newly returned, you could say, Injustice Jake, the mercenary dealing with injustices. So on Theron's side of things, there is the elephant in the room. The Outlaws are apparently living so rent-free in General Manager Aldini's head that he had to call upon the former artist, Justice Jake. If Theron is under Aldini's skin so much, then that's where he wants to be. Now on to Injustice Jake and what he did. Jake may have gotten the drop on Theron, but if he had fought, it would have ended differently. Theron is making a statement at the Culmination. He says to all the MNW roster, are you feeling lucky, punks? And then I actually have Injustice Jake's scripted response here, which I will read out to you. He says, so much talk going on right now. All these people calling me someone worthy of a championship opportunity, calling me an artist, hearkening back onto a name I refuse to take up again, and an unexpected someone talking about bittersweet memories and bittersweet feelings. It would be rude not to acknowledge it. It'd be rude to leave this elephant in the room unaddressed. so I'll enlighten you all and give my take about all of it. Spare me. Spare me your bittersweet feelings, Zacko, when you're the one who took out your anger on high voltage. All of you. Spare me your adulation and the title of hero that I lost when I blindly led my faction trying to dismantle another, not once, but twice. And spare me all the talk about someone who was forgotten until I had to come out and be the consequences of someone else's actions. Spare me from all of that sentimental asinine bull crap. But lastly, Theron, Mr. Eldrazi, spare all of us the pathetic attempt at saving face. You stood there in the ring, you heard my music, and you watched me walk down that ramp with everyone else. You knew full well who was there at the moment, and you had a chance to run backstage with the better half of the Outlaws until you could even the field. But what did you do? Nothing. You stood there with your mouth agape as I knocked you out cold. Your devil-may-care attitude about the enemies you made here, that you still make here, is exactly why I offered to take care of the two little pricks in Aldini's side. And I can't say I'm unhappy about this opportunity. There's some bad blood between you and the management right now, so to borrow your turn of phrase and make it my own, Theron, now that I am here, are you ready to play? For blood, I think Injustice Jake would have said. So now we move on to another tag team match. This time it is a 2-on-2, and it is actually our first crossover match of the Culmination Super Show. Yes, the whole purpose of this Culmination Super Show is to feature the biggest and brightest that have been taking part in the C101, both of Block A and Block B, over the past 9 to 10 weeks. So, in this match from Block A, we have the tag team champions, Devon and Jack Abbott. Devon was in Block B, and now they're back together again. And then they go up against the Flashbang team of the Mandalorian Kuso Kale, and we thought she was going to get her Valentine, but then where on earth did Brawl Kaiser come from? The good boy offering to help, but why? Wasn't Hutch supposed to be in this? What a surprise. I guess we'll find out in subsequent weeks what happened there. But in this match, it wasn't quite to be. Devon took out the win with a submission maneuver against Brawl Kaiser. And then next up, we have an audio promo from former member of the Republic, now leader of Blood Money, Sir Unkley Dunk, and I have what he spoke about right here. Unkley says, "All right, let's see what my expenses are this week. 2.5 million for the repairs on the Terminator lawyers, 4 million on the advertising for Unkley Incorporated's new expansions, another 2 million to take care of those damn tigers. Can't believe Mr. Butler convinced me to keep them around. And onto all of that, McCheese's medical expenses after the murder cave jumped him. Going to have to find a way to get back at them, and once I get the chance to. And Nakano is asking for 400,000 for some new hair gel. You know what? Forget this. I need a drink. I didn't expect there was so much to keep a faction running. I wonder if this is what No, Unkley, stop it. He was an incompetent fool and you know that. You can't run a million factions and have them all turn out better than his. It's just, why am I not feeling the same highs as back with the Republic? Right, back to work. A $3 million joint venture with VIP, $6 million on anti-Maximilian Thunder Thighs repellent, 50 million to YouTube to get rid of the dislike bar, and so on and so on. So that's Sir Unkley Dunk's words for you there, going through his expenses as well as, I guess, reminiscing a bit about when he was in the Republic. And now we move on to our fourth match of the evening, another crossover tag team match. This time we have Sam Jax and Lady Boots of the Conquest Bloodline. They were both in the C101, but once again, in different sides of the bracket. Sam Jax was in Block B, Lady Boots was in Block A, and they go against both Block B members of Doom, Michael Macabre and Zericus, who are two of our Trios championships on Flashbang. Sam Jax is a Mr. Money in the Bank, and Lady Boots is Nexus Titan Champion. So this is basically a battle of all the champions. And in this match, Doom comes out on top, with Xericus having the pinfall over Semjax. And I just realised that Doom always has its faction name in capital letters, but then does it stand for anything, or is it just simply to emphasise the tone of their name? I know I, for one, would like to find out. I wonder if we'll get that clarified with the producers of Flashbang, I think it is. Genericson will have to get back to us on that one. But moving on now, we have an audio promo by Seth Jackson of GIF, responded by R. Sawyer of the main event mex.exe. Trivia, when I did the booklets, I can't believe I overlooked this promo. And then I thought to myself, R. Sawyer is supposed to have a promo every week, otherwise it isn't Warzone. So here is the conversation between Seth Jackson and R. Sawyer. Seth, listen, just because you're a robot doesn't mean you can't be in GIF. We'll accept robots. I mean, come on, we both beat the shit out of Mad Jack. We can do it again together. I need some help investigating on Warzone. Come on, man. Look, Seth, I told you, I don't want to be in GIF. I'm already in a 3-man team, and if you want to investigate Mad Jack, go talk to Anon or something. I can get you some really greasy pizza, like, I can deep fry it in motor oil. I can have Istanbul make you some coffee with motor oil wait, your engine or electric? I don't want pizza or coffee. I'm fine. I gotta go. I promise we ain't robot racist like some people. Wait, is it race? Are you a race? Or are you people? Are robots people? Or are we organic robots? And then Sawyer ends up putting his phone down here. Dodged a minefield with that one. Speaking of Doom, Karma's long overdue for the Pumpkin King. I know he's already beaten my Robro twice and is probably holding the very belt Zacho had when we were Trios champions. But getting a title shot without earning it? A potential timeline where Mad Jack is double champ before us? And what's worse is that the madness is involved too. Who screwed my Robro out of the top spot in the C101? And he gets a title shot? What was the whole point of the C101 then? Just piss off Zacho and boom, title shot. Something doesn't feel right. It doesn't help knowing what Semjax did on Flashbang last week. I know I have Carney and Malice has Gorm. And Lady Boots is doing whatever Lady Boots does. But it's too much of a good opportunity. Zacho may thrive in triple threats, but unless he's got something in mind, we really need to reevaluate the logic here. He knows my endgame. I wish I knew his endgame too. And then we have a singles match, which was pre-announced on the Flashbang show yesterday. The world title defense, the heavyweight championship, number 1 contender for Apex, Mizuki Napier, the queen, the powerful queen, pulling the strings behind the scenes. And she tries to win the title of Victor Vicious, the mob boss, the leader of the cartel. But that wasn't to be. Victor Vicious ends up retaining the title for another day. And as discussed previously, he may have a future number 1 contender in Spike. But for now, as I said, Victor Vicious keeps that title, and whoever wins the Culmination match can either choose to, I guess, get the title of Victor Vicious or whoever the winner is going to be in the Warzone title match later in the show. But without further ado now, moving on, we have an audio promo by our Rookie of the Year from the Warzone Nexus, Beowulf. And in Beowulf's promo, he says, "So, Daggerick, you want to see more. You want to see me be more brutal. I've taken claws to the face. I've lost my arm, bled out and died, and got back up because the gods had more in store for me. And you want to say that I'm somehow not putting in more than my body can take? I fight monsters for a living. I fought goblins, Jotnar, Draugr, and giant 3-headed forest trolls. So you want me to get rough, Daggerick? You want me to give you more and show you that I can bleed and not give an F? I'll show you how rough I can be, because I am Beowulf. I am the monster hunter. And those are the words of Rookie of the Year Beowulf to hardcore champion Daggerick. And now we have another audio promo here from the Madness. We have yet another episode of Mad Ramblings. But Madness forgot they were live for a second, so after a few moments of silence, Madness recalls his 4 wins for the C101 in Block B, being against Lady Boots, Jack Abbott, the Janitor, and Zacko Duo. With the possibility of taking the World Heavyweight title off Zacko Duo, Madness wonders if it is possible for him to be called a double champion holder, as he is currently the only a tag team champ, but if he gets the heavyweight as well from Warzone, will Zacko Duo rise to the challenge? He says, "If you don't think I won't take the fall at the hands of Mad Jack to bring that belt to Flashbang, then you are a fool." And I will remind you that the upcoming title match is actually a triple threat match. So let's go to that match right now. We have a triple threat match for Zacko's world belt here. If Mad Jack or Madness win, they can take that belt over to Flashbang. But it wasn't to be, as Zacko Duo ends up retaining the belt that he won since 2021 Multivania. May I also mention, just for trivia, that Zacko Duo was a former Nexus Titan champion holder as well. So with that being done, we move on to our next audio promo. We actually heard Jack Andrews speak on Flashbang, but as he is a part of the Culmination match, we also heard his words on Warzone. So just as a reminder of what they were, here are Jack Andrews' words on the brink of the Culmination match. He says, "There is a tale in the history of Welsh culture of a giant spectral hound that stalks the valleys of the lands. This black wolf, this omen, this symbol, the Gwylgi, means that you are faced with ill tidings, or worse, should anyone be unfortunate enough to cross its path, it will not rip, it will not tear, it is simply the messenger. The C101 has taken its toll on myself and others who have fought tooth and nail, but in the end, we are faced with a tale that is old as time. Ginger Boy, my respect for you is no secret. You have sat atop the mountain once before and look to do so again. And in any other situation, you might have just had a straight path to your goal. But sadly for you, it is not meant to be. At the Culmination, I will bring the darkest part of myself. I will be bringing something you've never seen from me before, and when you gaze into my eyes, you will see nothing but the very darkness of the soul staring back at you. Gingy, my friend, even kings sometimes bend the knee." And with that, indeed, it is a tale as old as time, a tale between two Brits, a Londoner and a Welsh. And here we have the winner of Block A and Block B taking it out in our ultimate Culmination match. Whoever wins gets to fight for a world title of their choosing. So Ginger Boy against Jack Andrews. And even though Jack Andrews, the Hound, put in a valiant effort, we have Ginger Boy winning the match with a pinfall. So Ginger Boy either has the chance to get Zacko Duo's world title from Warzone, or he can have, this will be the second time that Ginger Boy is Flashbang Heavyweight Champion if he decides to take it off Victor Vicious and wins. So there you go. This is all of what the C101 has been leading up to, this ultimate event. 10 competitors from each block have been racking it out over 20-minute time limit matches for 2 points, 1 point, or nothing, and it all ends right here. So without further ado, let's just recap the Block A leaderboard to see how they got to this result. So in first place, ending the C101, we have Ginger Boy with 12 points. Second place, we have our superhero of the Sentinels, Daverman, with 11 points. Equal third place with 10 points is Zacko Duo, Lady Boots, and Daggerick. In fourth place, we have our Flashbang Trios Champion of Doom, Mad Jack, with 9 points. In equal fifth place, we have Tag Team Champion from Flashbang Madness, as well as Aiden Zero and the Janitor, all on 8 points. And in sixth place, last place, we have our Warzone Tag Team Champion, one half, Jack Abbott of Shoot Nation. So that is it for the Culmination show. Now we go on to our statistical summaries. The show length for the Culmination was 3 hours, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. In the segment summary, we had 7 matches and 7 promos with no backstage incidences or freaky ring graphics or anything, that strange practice arena. There was none of that, so that's a total of 14 events. And then if we subtract the 7 audio promos, that is a total of 7 events from the production truck this week. Thank you for checking out MNW in a nutshell. If you are interested in catching any more episodes of Warzone live, you can do so every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that's US Canadian time zone here, on twitch.tv/Dr. Caliban. Every other week there is a firing line recap, with the exception of this week. The production staff decided that they needed a break for Valentine's Day weekend, and I thought, yeah, go and spend time with your loved ones. So I thought I'd hack it out with Nutshell. But if you would like to catch Firing Line every week, please go to twitch.tv/Joe_Mojo, that's JOE_MOJO, and that is every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Once again, for MNW in a nutshell, this has been Karla Bader. Wherever you are, have a good morning, afternoon, evening or night, and thank you! Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and people. Welcome to episode 20 of MNW in a nutshell, which is episode 10 for the Warzone series. This is a super show, the C101 Culmination, dated Saturday, the 12th of February, Pacific Standard Time. Hey, I didn't tell you to move on to the next slide yet. Without further ado, your host is MNW's resident... Okay, we have to start again here. Oh dear. You stupid thing. Oh, no, it's not that. I start talking and it takes me to the next slide straight away. I'm going to have a bit of a longer run tonight. Obviously, if it keeps mucking me up, I might have to borrow somebody else's computer and import slides, but for now. Two more attempts, and if it screws up, I'm going to What?